what is fusion? The best way to describe fusion is to not talk about fusion first. So you've probably all heard about nuclear power. Everyone is kind of familiar with nuclear power. So nuclear power is this process called fission, where you take a big atom, something like uranium or something, and you split it in two. And Einstein tells us that energy, or at least change in energy, is the same as a change in mass. E equals mc squared. So you split something in two, and it turns out that in fission, when you split something heavy in two, it turns out that the two things you're left with are very slightly lighter than when they were the whole at the start, and that change in mass can create energy, and that energy is what you harvest. Fusion is, in many ways, the exact opposite. So you're taking two very, very light elements, so like hydrogen or something around hydrogen, which is the first element in the periodic table, and you squish them together, and they can bond together. There's something called a strong nuclear force can take hold and bond them together. And it turns out that when they're bonded together, the weight, their mass, is very, very slightly lighter than when they were separate. And again, because you're now losing mass, you're gaining energy. And it turns out that in equals mc squared, that c, the c squared, is the speed of light. And the speed of light is very, very fast. So you square it, you get a very, very big number. So you don't need to change mass very much to harvest an enormous amount of energy. And it's that energy that we try and harvest in fusion. It's exactly the same process that goes on in the middle of the sun. So in the middle of the sun, you have protons, you have hydrogen fusing, and that is at the core what drives the sun. It's exactly the same process, but we just want to harness that here on Earth to harness that amazing potential in the energy source.